In the internal organization of cranium, we have a three cranial fossa. Yes, if you know, you can help me. The anterior cranial fossa, medial cranial fossa, and posterior cranial fossa. And for example, we can take the medial cranial fossa, and how you can explain it. The borders of medial cranial fossa, the anterior border formed by what is this? What wings?
Sphenoid bone.
Lesser wings of sphenoid bone. In ancestral part, what is this?
No, this is dorsum tuberculum.
This is dorsum tuberculum. And in posterior, it is what it is this?
Petrous part.
Petrosus potal pyramid. In the anterior surface by the pyramid, yes? And it is the clivus. And in lateral border formed by the what is this?
Greater wings.
Greater wings.
Squamous part.
Of temporal
Temporal
bone.
bone.
And the other fossa, you explain me about like this. The borders, which bones form the borders. After, you must explain the canals by which this fossa cranial media, for example, have a contact with other topographical elements. For example, this is optical canal have contact with the orbital. This is
superior
orbital superior have a contact with the
orbital.
This is
foramen
foramen
rotundum.
have a contact with the petrotympany fossa. I will explain and we write this information. This is petrotympany fossa.
Yes.
After, this is foramen
Ovale.
foramen ovale. We have a contact with the external part of base. And this is foramen
Spinosum.
have a contact with the external base, yes, too. This is foramen coroticus internus
Coroticus.
and foramen lacerum, yes. We have a contact with the external base part. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And after, at home, for example, when you will prepare, you take the anterior medial cranial fossa, borders of this cranial fossa, and maybe if this fossa have some canals, okay, you this understand.
Yes.
After, we take the orbital.
Orbital cavity.
Orbital cavity have the air walls. The superior walls formed by what is this? Frontal bone, and in the posterior part, what is this?
Orbital canal.
No. Canal bone. Which bone?
Spinal.
Walk. What is this?
Lesser
Wings of
Lesser
sphenoid
wing.
bone.
Oh.
And I repeat, the superior wall formed by the frontal bone and lesser wings by the sphenoid bone. Lateral border formed by what is this?
Zygomatic.
No.
Zygomatic bones in anterior part, and this
greater wing.
greater wings
wings.
of sphenoid bones. Very well. Inferior wall formed by the
Zygomatic.
maxilla. And medial wall formed by the very small lacrimal bone, and this is the orbital part by the ethmoid bone.
Which one?
Orbital. This is orbital part,
Which
orbital
part is
lamina
orbital?
of the medial wall formed by the lacrimal bone, and orbital part by the ethmoidal bone. And after the canals, this is the optical canal with the cranial medial fossa, the fissure orbital superior with the medial cranial fossa. This is fissure orbital inferior.
Inferior.
Have a contact with the pterygopalatine fossa. After this is nasolacrimal canal. Have a contact with the nasal cavity.
Lacrimal canal.
Not nasolacrimal.
Nasal lacrimal.
And infraorbital canal. Infraorbital canal have a contact with the maxilla.
Okay.
I repeat, the optical canal, the fissure orbital superior, fissure orbital inferior, the nasolacrimal,
Nasolacrimal.
infraorbital canal. Understand what I want from you? There are in oral cavity we have only the superior wall. No, patella. No.
Palatine.
Palatine, yes. And the superior wall, which formed by the bones, consists by the maxilla, but process palatine process by maxilla, and horizontal part of palatine bone
Palatine.
consists by two bones. Understand it?
Yes.
But this superior wall by the oral cavity and inferior wall by the nasal
cavity.
And in nasal cavity we have this inferior wall and we have superior wall. Superior wall, it is not this, not nasal bones.
Yeah.
Superior wall, it is this.
Okay.
Which one name it is?
This wall. And formed by the frontal bone and body of sphenoid,
Sphenoid bone.
not nasal bones.
Okay.
And the lateral wall by the nasal cavity consists by 6 bones. The first, it is maxilla.
Maxilla.
The
Yeah.
second, it is lacrimal bone.
Lacrimal.
The third, it is ethmoid bone, and ethmoid bone with a concha nasalis. Understand? Concha.
Yes, ma'am.
Concha.
Inferior nasal concha.
We have inferior, medial, and superior. And inferior, it is the one bone, general bone, but the medial and superior, it is the part of ethmoidal bone. Understand? And the lateral wall by the nasal cavity form ethmoid bone with the medial and superior concha nasalis. And other bones, it is the pterygoid process by the sphenoid bone and vertical part by the palatine bone. Vertical part by the palatine bone. I repeat, the lateral wall by the nasal cavity formed by the 6 bones: the maxilla, the lacrimal bone, the ethmoid bone with the medial and superior concha, and next, the fourth, it is the inferior concha nasal, because it is the general bone, not a part. And the fifth, it is the pterygoid process, and sixth, it is the vertical part by the palatine bone.
Ma'am, can you show pterygoid process where it is?
Yes, pterygoid process. And I can drop in my list.
Okay.
Yes.
Maxilla. Yes.
Yes.
And palatine bone. Yes. In superior. In superior. Other color. In superior, it is the frontal. Yes. And sphenoid bone. Yes. In a lateral part, maxilla. Yes. Lacrimal. Ethmoid. With a superior and medial concave. And inferior nasal concha. 5. Pterygoid process and the vertical part of palatine bone. And medial wall, it is like a septum. Septum. And we can see it in the sagittal position. This is the inferior wall, yes? It is the superior wall, lateral wall, we can see it, but this is the septum. And our septum consists by two parts. The anterior part consists by the cartilage.
Cartilage.
This is cartilage. And in posterior part, our consists by several bones. And in this superior position, it is the vertical part by ethmoidal bone.
Perpendicular plate.
Perpendicular, yes. This is ethmoid bone. Perpendicular, or you can explain like a vertical part. Understand?
Yes.
And this is, and in a posterior organization, you can see the part of the smallest part of this is sphenoid bone. And it is in Latin, it is like a rostrum. Rostrum by the sphenoid bone. And this is and this, it is a vomer. Our septum in anterior part consists by the cartilage, and in posterior consists by three bones. The ethmoidal bone, perpendicular part, the very small part of the sphenoid bone, and the other continue back to the vomer.
Yes.
Understand what it is?
Yes, ma'am.
And in our nasal cavity, by the concha nasalis, we can divide it, our nasal cavity into three parts. The concha, this is inferior concha, this is medial, and this is superior.
Superior.
And in our nasal cavity, we have the inferior part, the medial part, superior part, and the very small part which located between the superior concha and the superior wall of nasal cavity, in which located receptors, many receptors by the olfactory nerve. Olfactory nerve, the first cranial nerve. If you want to feel the very small, smooth perfume,
Yes, ma'am.
what you do?
We smell, then it turn into liquid form, na? Inside our nose. That gas.
Liquid.
That's not important.
I wanted to explain that this part, in this part, we don't.
They were receptors.
In this part, like it's on the receptors. Or
Smell receptors.
we in this part only we can feel the different smells.
Yes.
Understand what
Yes.
is? And in this parts, we can explain the different canals. The first canal, it is the nasolacrimal canal.
Yes, ma'am.
nasolacrimal canal, and this nasolacrimal canal go to the inferior part of nasal cavity, nasolacrimal canal, incisivus canal,
Ins-
incisivus,
In
incisivus,
Is it incisive or down?
Incisive.
incisivus canal. Have a contact with the oral cavity and nasal cavity.
Okay.
The sphenopalatine canal, sphenopalatine canal. This is sphenopalatine. Have a contact with the nasal cavity and pterygopalatine fossa. This is pterygopalatine
Which
fossa.
fossa?
Pterygopalatine fossa.
Pterygopalatine.
I will explain after.
Pterygopalatine fossa.
With the nasal cavity, have a contact the maxilla cavity and frontal cavity.
Yeah.
Only explain like this. Have a contact. We don't have a canal. And all. It will be all. The incisivus,
Incisivus.
nasal lacrimal canal, and sphenopalatine, and have a contact with the maxilla and the frontal cavities.
Okay.
And we ended in pterygopalatine fossa. Pterygopalatine fossa is this. Not this, not this, not this, not like this, this.
Pterygopalatine fossa.
Where located my finger, yes.
Okay.
And have a three walls. The anterior wall, it is the maxilla.
Mm.
Posterior wall, it is, what is this? Pterygoid
Pterygoid.
process. The superior wall, it is the greater wings of the sphenoid bone.
Yes.
And medial wall, it is the vertical part by the palatine bone. I repeat, the anterior wall, it is the maxilla, tuber maxilla. The posterior wall, it is the pterygoid
Pterygoid
process.
process.
The superior wall, it is the greater wings.
Wings.
And the medial wall, it is the vertical part, the palatine bone. And canals. By the fissure orbital inferior, we have a contact with the orbita.
Orbital cavity.
By the foramen rotundum,
Rotundum. Yeah.
we have a contact with the medial cranial
Medial
fossa.
cranial fossa.
By the sphenopalatine canal, we have a contact with the nasal cavity.
Nasal.
The palatine canals, we have a contact with the orbital or
Maxilla.
oral cavity. And palatine canal, or pterygoid canal. Pterygoid canal, we have a contact with the external part of the base.
Base.
Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we must write this.